Hello, Social Dragoons. My name is Alex, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. But I'll let the intro song cue us in.
Well, Cuphead and his pal Mugman, they like to roll the dice. By chance they came on a devil's game, and gosh, they paid the price. Paid the price. And now they're fighting for their lives on a mission fraught with dread. And if they proceed but don't succeed, well, the devil will take their heads.
That's right, it's Cuphead. And, oh boy. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I got some shit to say about the game, but we can get into that a little bit later. So, this was, as far as I know, the first game made by NDHM Studio. I believe that's the name. Please feel free to correct me in the comments down below. But I feel like we should go over the story for now because it's generally told in a storybook and you have to read it for yourselves. So, the game focuses around two brothers, Cuphead and Mugman. They live with what's essentially their grandfather figure, the Elder Kettle. However, one day they wander on the wrong side of the tracks and end up in a casino ran by the devil. With the boys on a winning streak, the devil challenges them to a game of dice, but Cuphead loses. So now they technically owe their souls to the devil. So, like any sensible person, they would plead with their lives, but they essentially end up becoming enforcers for the devil. Because there are other people who have contracts with him who haven't paid their debts. And it's up to us to get the soul contracts and bring him back to the devil. But yeah, it's a rather simple story, but I'm all here for it. You know, simple does not mean bad. But okay. And one thing that I instantly really love about this game, it's the animation. Like this was legitimately hand drawn by real people. So AI artists can get the fuck out of here. And I say that as an artist myself. Granted, not a very good one, but still an artist nonetheless. Get the fuck out of here with AI shit. Oh my gosh, it's the tutorial section. How am I ever gonna get past this? Fuck you, IGN. Seriously, that was the worst. Like, what? Get actual gamers to review the games for you, okay? Like, fucking, like, holy shit. You, like this was like, okay, context. Recently, there was a game released called Mouse PI, which I really do want to play at some point in time, but not immediately. So basically, they gave the game like a 6 out of 10 when it really isn't. It's a lot better from what I'm hearing. So, yeah. But apparently whoever was doing the review couldn't fucking parry and dash over these fucking ledges. Seriously, the game freaking tells you right here how you do it. But okay, so sorry about that. Just like it's more of a roast on IGN at that point, but it's like, dude, seriously, fuck you. Get actual video game players to review your games for you, and also stop being bribed. I mean it. Stop being bribed. Like that's what a lot of well, actually, I think that's just going a little bit off topic. But anyway, check this out, baby. Welcome to Inkwell Isle number 1. There are 3 isles and a 4th area, which is the end of the game. But I have not played the end of the game yet, so we're going to be in this for the long run. Now, a few things to note is that I am going to be handling this playthrough a little bit differently than most others. So, generally speaking, people are going to want to keep in their deaths. They're going to want to show you the full experience with playing the game. But honestly, you know what? I would rather do something a little bit different. At least that's just my way of thinking it. So I am going to be showing you the runs in which I actually managed to succeed a run and gun or a boss fight, which most of the game is boss fights. Now, just to touch on this chap real quick, this is Pork Rinds. He will sell you items, mainly charms and weapons. Though you do need to manually equip the charm and weapons, but it's not that big a deal. They do cost coins, and as far as I know, you cannot buy every weapon. At least as far as I know. So this is our first boss, the Root Pack. Basically, bosses are divided into phases. As soon as you get to one phase, you can go to the next, etc., etc. So for the Root Pack, we start with a potato, which is pretty easy. All he does is just stand there and shoot out mud and worms. But next we have the Onion here, who cries, and his tears actually hurt you. And, yeah, you need to be paying attention to that, and you may also be noticing that some of the attacks are pink. Well, that means you can parry that. Parry is basically a move where it adds to your super meter, which is very useful. However, sometimes you're not in a good position to parry, and it's not mandatory to beat the boss or level up, except for one case, but we will get to that later. So the carrot for this fight is the final boss, and you mainly just need to aim at the carrot himself while he is shooting out laser beams or psychic rings, I guess. Along with carrots. And you do this until you get a knockout, which means that you won the battle, essentially. And you do get results every time that you beat a fight. Generally speaking, if all of the stats are like golden, it will be an S rank. Though I never get an S rank. And also, after you beat certain bosses, you will open up pathways to get to other areas of the Isle, which is very interesting. Or not very interesting. It is pretty handy, because then you're not really breaking the game. And the game is telling you, hey, you should probably do these bosses first, so that way you don't have to go out and deal with them too much. Well, just so you don't have to get too much of a headache. But also something that I did is that I tried to record each boss and run and gun separately, so that way I can keep pretty much everything regarding deaths and retries clear. Though I will admit, after a little while, I did forego the run and gun, because I didn't really see much a point in it after I got the weapons that I needed, and I was going, as comfortable as I could throughout the game. So, it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, so basically how run and guns work is that it's basically like a generic platformer game, except you can shoot your enemies. Generally speaking, what you're trying to do is to get to the end of the level without dying. Although, if you do manage to beat the level without killing anything, you get a special ranking, a P rank, which I believe stands for pacifist. Going full Undertale in that one. And I was really lucky to do that with like 1 health, like seriously. Though it was the first run and gun, it's a lot easier than the others, but for my own sanity, I decided to not do them. Especially because I did the, I think it was one of the Isle 3 ones, or was it Isle 2? And I was like, okay, no, I'm not doing this again. Now to sort of touch on what Pork Rinds offers. Well, really, in terms of charms, I only go for Smoke Bomb because that's like the best one. It's like an invincible dash or something like. At least I think it's invincible because I've had times where it doesn't really work. But I think it kind of extends your dash, though I could be wrong on that. And he also sells weapons, like the one that we got, the Spread Shot. Now, each weapon has its own special kind of quirk. Our starting weapon, the pea shooter, is kind of like a middle of the range. It's kind of like a jack of all trades sort of thing. It's pretty basic, and it doesn't really do much of anything, except shoot in a straight line, which at times is fairly useful at times. But the Spread Shot has less range, but if you manage to hit an enemy with all of its projectiles, then it racks up damage like crazy. Like, especially if you get it point blank. You'll see that in a boss fight in Isle 2, though. We're not gonna get to Isle 2 at least in the next video, I think. I think it's like the 3rd one. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so this little thing right here is basically a it's an area where you can get special moves. Well, I say special. They're basically super attacks. Super attacks are what happens when you manage to fill up your super meter, which is what those cards next to your health bar are. Well, I say bar, it's a health count. But, really, so far, I've mainly just stuck with the first one and haven't really had much, and I didn't necessarily need to change it. It's basically just a giant energy beam, basically, but it's like it does like a good amount of damage and all that. But just to spoil the other two, one is invincibility for like a couple seconds, and the other is a ghost, which is a little finicky from what I've seen. But anyway. So now we're on to our second boss fight, which is Guppy la Grande, or is it Grande or Glande? I don't really know for sure, but anyway, Guppy is actually fairly easy because it's just him, and he's bouncing around the whole place. But when he gets to his second phase, yeah, that's when things get a little more tricky because he gets bigger. And his hops are a little weird. But anyway, I would say that Goopy is actually like at least in his second phase, is actually a pretty good example of how to use a spread shot. Just get up close and personal to him, so that way all of the cones hit. Though it does sort of take a little bit when he's bouncing all over the place. But thankfully, we are on to his final phase, which is a tombstone, and it's a perfect time to use the super. Although I don't think it did a lot. But also this phase is pretty good for using the spread shot as well, because for like a few seconds, every cone is, or at least most of the cones are actually hitting him, which is a good thing, because you want that to happen for the cones at least. And yeah, Goopy goes down fairly easily. I think I died to him like once, maybe twice, because like it is sort of hard to tell with him like where the hell he is going to jump or what type of jump he's gonna do. But overall, it's not awful. But what is awful is the next fight that we gotta do. Oh my lord almighty. Oh boy, I hate this fight. In fact, I hate this type of fight, let's say. But we have to do this in order to progress with the game, because so the way that you progress in the game is that you get these soul contracts after beating a boss. However, you have to do it on the normal difficulty. You cannot do it on the easy mode, which is bullshit in my opinion. Like, why should we be punished for wanting a not as simple mode does not mean like it's brain dead easy. You still need to pay attention to certain things, and the boss can trip you up. Plus it varies from case to case, right? So, like, why should we be punished for wanting an experience that's not quite as ball-kickingly hard as the normal mode? But to be fair, we don't need to beat the game on hard mode in order to progress the story. We don't need to do that. We just need to beat it on normal, and that is the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum requirement. But here we have the crap, I forgot to add that. Shit. Okay. I gotta fix the count. Okay. So this is Hilda Bird, and she is the first of many flying levels, or flying boss fights. So I don't like the plane levels. I really don't, because from my experience, there's like way too much stuff here. It's like these bosses, to me, they feel like bullet hells. And I know you're probably saying like, oh well, skill issue there. Like, fuck off. Not everybody has the time or patience for this fight, and this one certainly tested my patience. I spent like an hour and 3 minutes recording this bitch. Seriously, an hour and 3 minutes on this fight alone. Like, come the fuck on. But Hilda does at least have a theme that I like, and that is at certain points during the fight, she will take on forms resembling the Zodiac, Tauros, Gemini, and Sagittarius. So that's cool at least. And the final form is actually pretty awesome. But it does take a little while to actually knock her down. But you are only seeing the runs that actually worked. I gotta do some edits, but okay. Well, I guess I'll explain that for the next video because we are coming up on time here. So before I go, I am going to leave you guys with a montage of all the deaths and retries that I've done throughout the game. So, thank you so very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel because we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and every little click helps out a lot more than you think. Until next time, Celestial Goons, remember, reach for the stars.